Thank you. Let me seat it. Remaruti, you are still under your previous oath.
Thank you very much.
Counsel.
Thank you, Justice. Reverend, are you ready to continue? I'm here. Ready to continue.
Thank you.
There are some photographs in front of you.
Yeah.
One has got the number ELAH 39A.
Okay.
Do you see it?
I see it, yeah.
Can you tell us, is this Billy? Is this Billy in the photograph?
This is Billy, when he was still a teenager.
And the next photograph is ELAH 39B.
Yes, Councillor.
How old was Billy in this photograph?
I think by then he was still in his early 20s.
The third photograph.
Because by then he was still at school.
Okay. ELAH 39C. Is this still Billy?
This is still Billy, when the sun was setting.
When the sun was setting.
Yeah.
And where was this taken?
This photo was taken at Bophelong, sort of NGO in Hammanskraal, where I found him.
And when was this photograph taken?
This was on the 16th of July, 2016.
And who took this photograph?
It's my brother's son.
You say, just before our adjournment, you said that you last saw Billy at Life Esidimeni in June 2016, and that you weren't told where he was taken. So how did you find him at Bophelong?
Councillor, thank you very much for that question. You know, the end of June, I went to check on him again because I did not know when will they be going. So when I got to Esidimeni, there was nobody. There were new people there who were renovating the premises, and they told me that we don't know anything about the people you are asking about. We are a new company. We are people who are preparing for the drug addicts.
Drug addict.
Yeah.
So Billy wasn't there?
Billy was not there. And I asked them, do you know where are the people who were here? They said, we don't know anything. You are asking wrong people.
So how did you track him down?
So I went back.
Was the facility completely empty? Life Esidimeni in Randfontein, was that facility completely empty when you went there?
Probably because I was just at the gate, at the entrance, and they didn't allow me to go in. So I did not know who was there and who was not there, because they said we are not allowing any other people to come here because we are busy renovating the complex here.
Mm. Thank you.
So how did you find Billy?
From there, I got very much worried as of the beginning of July. I did not know where to find Billy. And I scouted around and I was praying every day to say, God, show me where Billy is. Show us where Billy is. And it was a daily thing. I was haunted. We were haunted. And I asked my fellow clergy men, the bishop, and all the other congregations where I went to please pray and so that I can find my son where he is. But luckily, God being God, on the 13th of July, it was my birthday. I was celebrating my 79th birthday.
79th birthday?
Yeah.
You're 80 years old now.
Pardon?
You're 80 years old now.
Yes.
Now you are 80.
Now I'm an oldie.
Sorry, I interrupted. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So thank you very much, Councillor. And I said to myself, I'm celebrating my 79th birthday. I don't know where my son is. And fortunately, God led me to Section 27. I don't remember. I got somebody from Life Esidimeni who said, okay, that Muruti will help you to trace and find out from the other NGOs where we can trace Billy. And then they phoned around, I think, and after a while, a phone call came back. And when I picked up the phone, it was Billy himself. And I said, Billy, is that you? He said, Papa, it's me. Papa, it's me. I said, thank you, my son. This is my best birthday I have had because I found you and you are alive. And I said, where are you? He said to me, Papa, I'm in Harskral. He could not pronounce Hamaskral, you see.
Yes.
And then I heard a voice from behind saying, Hamaskral. So I said, now, where is that Hamaskral? He said, She was working during night time. And then we were just questioning ourselves. I was questioning myself that if these two old people, ladies, are looking after mentally ill patients, and I asked her, how many people are here? She said, there are 40 men, 40.
40 men.
40 men. Then I said to myself,
40.
40. And I said to myself, people like this, they need a good staff, they need male nurses or assistants who can help in a situation like this. And then there was only one old man who was sort of also, he looked sort of crazy. He said, I'm a Muruti, I'm helping here and I'm always praying for these people. I said, okay, thank you very much. And then probably he was boasting because probably Bill was always telling me that my father is a priest. And then probably Bill was also telling about Bishop Tutu and the law. And so he was saying, I'm also a bishop and a priest. I've got my own church here. But I'm always coming here to pray for these people and helping where I can. And then said, okay. Then we said, the old lady, old staff nurse, said, I'll ask them to call Billy to come in. And then when Billy came in, he came through the kitchen door, from the kitchen side. When I looked at Billy, I got a shock of my life. He looked frail. He looked more disorientated. He was hungry. He was filthy. And he was stinking. And in this photo here, when I looked at him, I could see that the clothes that he is wearing, they are the clothes from Esidimeni.
That's
And
Ella 39C.
so I said to myself, we asked her, the old lady, the old matron, and said, how are you feeding these people? What do they eat? Said, no, they are here. We first asked about their medication. What medication do they have? Said, no, when they are not feeling well, we take them to the clinic that we passed when you came in. And then they are given some tablets and whatever medication they give. I don't know what sort of medication they gave them. And said, so I asked her, where are their, have they got their files with them? Said, no, some of them came here without files. We don't know what had happened. And some of them did not even bring their IDs. And it's only one person, one patient that brought his file with his ID and SASA card. And I said to the old lady, how do you feed them now? Because now these SASA cards, I think they are for them to get their monthly pension fund. I said, no, we here, what we are doing, we get contributions from the local shopping complexes, Checkers, Pick and Pay. They bring us vegetables, they bring us mealie meal, they bring us sugar, tea, and the rest. And so that's how we managed to keep them here. And my problem was, I did not know when these fellows, these 40 men, left Esidimeni. So
On the question of food, if I may interrupt you, you said Billy was hungry.
Billy looked hungry. Billy looked dehydrated. He was dry. He could hardly speak. And
could he speak before? Could he speak properly before? Did he have a problem with speech, a speech defect, or anything like that?
Billy was a jolly person. He could speak. When Life Esidimeni. When they bring him from the wards to come and see me when I visited him at Life Esidimeni, we're always accommodated in a hall, families. He'll just laugh and hug me, and when he just entered, they'll say, Papa, you've come. Thank you very much that you've come. But on that particular day, on the 16th of July, Bill was as dumb and found like, I don't know. He could hardly say a word. And that love he had to hug me. And then he was shivering there. I could see that he was going to fall, and then we supported him. And they said, bring him a chair. And they brought him this green chair that he's sitting on, and also a plastic, refuge plastic bag to sit on. And he was there and said, whilst we're still talking there, he said, I'm thirsty, I want water. And the old nurse said, no, we're not giving him water because he's wetting himself, he's peeing his trousers and so on. I could believe that because now he was stinking with dirt. And the and
ba sa khutleng ra ke kgang ya bone
judge,
ka re buile ge ba sa
Ah, ba sa nkutlwang,
khutle ga se bothata ba gago
Setswana ga se toloki.
gona rra.
Yeah. And
The priest says that he has spoken in his home language and he's not allowed to interpret what he has said.
so thank you very much, Judge. And we sat there in that house, and the old lady showed us the photos of her sister, a qualified, she was a sort of she had doctorate in whatever, I don't know, medicine or whatever. And we felt that we were cold inside there, and then he said, can we sit out in the sun? So
Did you get him something to drink since he was thirsty, or did they
didn't
refuse
bring him
to?
anything. He was not given anything to drink because they say he's wetting himself, and that's the end of the story. So we said, no, let's go and sit out in the sun. And then we went out and took his chair along, and then we supported him. We put him on this chair outside. It was a bit warmish outside. And he asked me, did you bring me some food, Papa? Some chips, because he liked chips. He liked bread and Coke. I said, no, we have not brought those things because we are coming to fetch you. Because we brought him new clothes, turkeys, a lumber jacket, and name it, jerseys, and so on. And then we sat outside there, and he said, I want something to eat. So I saw somebody there and called him and said, are you a person? He said, no, I'm always here. Now, the crack of the matter was that while we were sitting outside waiting for the man who was going to buy chips and whatever, the process of starting to renovate was starting on that particular, I don't know whether it started on that particular day or it had already started some days back, because they were putting on security fence, they're building walls around. And there's poor fellows, we could not see them properly because they were that side, but this side, because we could see them, some of them were on that side at the entrance of the car, some of them were basking in the sun there. And then
Are you referring to the other patients?
the other patients were just, you know what mental patients are. They will ask you, can you give us R2 to go and buy a cigarette? I want something to go and buy. They were just screaming at us, you see. If one of them was singing there, he was just singing an endless anthem, which I cannot remember, but he was singing for the whole time, was singing there around us. And
How were they contained in a particular area?
they were confined in that particular area. This was the house here, and on the side here, on the side of the house, at the end of the house, they put up a fence or brick wall, and now the brick wall was being built up on the side here so that they cannot jump onto the other property.
So they were talking to you with a fence in their faces, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. The fence was, but it was a bit higher, so that they cannot reach it. It was higher than the wall was up there, and the fence was coming up there. And then,
And then did you get the food for Billy?
ja,
Did you get the food for Billy?
I sent somebody who took a very long time, more than half an hour or quarter of an hour, because you know Hammanskraal, they are depending on tuck shops, which are, I don't know what types of tuck shops are. And then he came back after a while, when we were already worried that that fellow is gone with our money. So fortunately he came back. He came back with a packet of chips and a bottle of Coke. The chips were dry, they were old, and so the poor fellow, because he was so hungry, he just took that plastic and he wanted to eat even the plastic, the way he was hungry. And I said to my cousin, he said to me, Ramahol, I want to go to the loo. So they asked him to go right around the house. So they opened up the gate, so he went right around the house. And then he came back. I said, I also want to go to the... But he said, Ramahol, please, I'm begging you, don't go to the back. Don't go to the back of this house. It's horrible. What is not happening? He said, the garage, these people, it's a big garage. There are beds, 40 beds were lined up. There was no privacy, there was no washing basin, there was nothing, there was nothing. It was on those beds and a few blankets, I think.
In the garage?
In the garage. And so that's what he said, Ramahol, I don't want to go and see the mess behind there. But what we could see, there was a pit toilet right at the corner there, which we said to ourselves...
A pit toilet?
A pit toilet. Mm. And then these poor fellows, the patient probably used it. And we said to ourselves, how can these poor patients use a pit toilet? It's really not safe for them. And we continued with my niece to ask ourselves a lot of questions which we could not get answers. And then we told the old lady, that the old nurse, that we are coming to fetch Billy because we see that he is not well. We are going to take him home. But she insisted that you cannot take Billy away because the doctor must see him. He must sign some documents. And also the social worker must come, sign some documents. So it is not, you are not allowed to take him. I said, now, really, but really we feel that you must take him away. But she insisted that, no, you can't. So I said, okay, we'll respect you and your profession and your authority. We'll respect that. We won't take Bill away. But we left that place at about around about 12-ish or so. But one thing that hurt us at that time, there was no sign of lunch. Because normally at Esidimeni, when you go there, Life Esidimeni in Randfontein, when you go there at that round about that time, 12-ish, they are already on lunch. Mm. But you could see that these poor people, these poor patients, did not even have breakfast in the first place. Now, it's already that time, 11 o'clock or so to 12, there was no sign of lunch.
Were there any snacks offered?
There was nothing. So probably Billy was lucky to have that packet of chips and drink.
And did you ask Billy what it was like for him there? Did you ask him whether he was getting food?
He was not even quite sure of what they eat. But at Esidimeni, he'll tell you that we've got bread in the morning, we've got tea in the morning, we've got coffee, and at 11 o'clock we are given something to eat, and at 1 o'clock or so, we've got our lunch, and then he was really up to himself. But at Life Esidimeni, he was just as I cannot say it. And so we said, now we are going to go. So we left all the clothes that we had for him. And we said, okay, we are leaving now, and we'll probably come back on Monday, or we'll hear from you, staff nurse from you, and will tell us the position. But she said, we are going to take Billy to the clinic on Monday, and we'll give you the feedback when we come back from the clinic. And then I asked her, how do you take them to the clinic? She said, no, we are using a bakkie. And then those who are sick, as Billy is, he'll be sitting in front, and the others will be sitting at the back. Okay, no, thank you very much. So we left that place with very heavy hearts when we saw that. But I said to my niece, I said to him, I don't see Billy living more days than what we see him here. And we left that place with heavy hearts and saying, if Billy is like this, we didn't see the other fellows who probably were like him, but the others that we saw roaming around in the yard, they were there, they were sort of, just as you know, mental patients. They are restless, they are not at one place. Some of them were just basking in the sun there. You could see
Did you return? Did you return to Bophelong after that?
Let me tell you the journey that we went
and I'm
through.
listening.
And then on Monday, Tuesday, we get a phone call from that's what Bophelong NGO. And they said, Billy has been admitted at Jubilee Hospital. Will you make it a point that to come and see him? His condition is not really so good. So Tuesday, Wednesday, they phoned again, and I could not get transport by then, and I could not even drive myself because I've got a hip replacement. So to drive from Randfontein to Hammanskraal for me to be really a risk. And so I spoke to one of my neighbors, he's also a farmer, and then he said, no, I can only manage to take you on Friday because my car is not here, and then I will wait for my son-in-law. He's in Mafeking. He'll come back probably before 12 o'clock. He'll be here, and then we can.
And when did you go to Jubilee? When did you go to Jubilee Hospital?
We went on Friday, on the 22nd of Friday.
Yes.
We left Randfontein at about 2:30. That fellow drove so fast through the traffic up to Johannesburg, Pretoria, and then we arrived at Hammanskraal at about 4:30. When we got there at the gate, the security lady, she was so harsh on us.
This is at Jubilee Hospital?
Jubilee Hospital.
Okay.
And then she said to us, why do you come at this time? Can't you see that you are late? And I said to her, dear security lady, we know the rules of visiting. We cannot be so stupid to come at this time knowing that it is not visiting time.
Yes.
We've got a phone call from this hospital of yours to say that you must come and see my son. He's in Ward 3. And then, but he said, you should have come earlier than that. I said, I'm not around Hammanskraal, I'm not around Stengwater, around Hammanskraal, those areas. We are not from Pretoria, nor Johannesburg. We are right from the West Rand. And so we drove so fast, at least we are here.
Did she let you in eventually?
Councillor?
Did she allow you in eventually?
Fortunately, she went and phoned the ward and asked that there are people here who have come to see Hendrik Mabue. So she came back to us and said, no, you can drive in, pack your car that end, and then come back and look for Ward 3. So we packed our car, and then we looked for Ward 3. And then when we got to Ward 3, when we entered, I introduced myself to the sister there. I told him that I'm Hendrik Mabwe's father. We've come to see him. She also said, you are late. Why do you come so late? I said, hey, sister, we are not from here. We come from far, not Pretoria, not Skilpadfontein or Stemwater around Hammanskraal here. We come from the West Rand. So she said, okay, have a seat. And then she was fiddling on the desk there, and I saw Hendrik Mabwe's file on the table, on the desk. Then she went in and out. She was not even looking me on my face, and then she was just not knowing what she's looking for. And at that point, I was just saying to myself, I wonder what has happened. Probably she's... And then she asked me, who came with you? I said, no. Did you see that who was behind me? He's the man that I came with. So he said, call him to come in. So we sat there and said to me that day.
And this was your neighbor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he said, that day, I'm sorry you are late. And then fiddling around on the files and so on. And said, now you are late. And I'm sorry to tell you that Hendrik just passed on at 2:30. The time we left Randfontein, it was the time when Billy died. And I had taken Holy Communion along with me. I had holy oil to go and anoint him. But when I was told that he's no more, I just said, yeah. And I had no other words. And then I said, okay, sister, thank you very much for your information. We'll go back home and then go and arrange, because tomorrow it's Saturday, there's nothing that we can do. We won't be able to come and collect the body because the mortuaries are closed, the undertakers are busy. And then we ask that can we get his clothing, his pajamas, whatever he went with to the hospital. And he said, no, okay, do you want to see him? He said, yes, definitely want to see him. I thought she was saying that Billy's already in the mortuary. But most unfortunately or luckily, he was still screened in the ward. So she took us around into the ward, and then she unscreened the bed, and then and I saw Billy was no more. And I started praying because I could not anoint him. I could not give him Holy Communion. I prayed for the repose of his soul and offered him to God and to his grandparents, ancestors, and everybody said, accept Billy. Lord, accept Billy's soul. May his soul rest in peace. And then I said to Billy, we are coming to fetch you, my son. We'll be coming on Monday. And I gave him a blessing. And we left. We said, we want to have his belongings. They opened up the drawer there. We took out his clothes, his shoes, and everything. Then we went back to Bophelo, which I didn't call Bophelo, I call it death. Mm. And when you got there, just around about 5-ish.
For those who don't follow, Bophelo means a place of life. And the Reverend says he thought it was a place
of death.
of death.
That's correct, Judge. And when we came there, we arrived there, and it was already, winter, 5 o'clock, 1:30 was already late. But there was such a the people were busy there, very busy, starting to put up a structure. I don't know what sort of structure was it, but they were busy with this, with the cement and name it. All the building materials were there, and you could see that these people are now desperate to have the structure on, which has not been there. And initially, when we went back home on Saturday, we said, now, how can these people accept patients without having prepared for them prior? You cannot take people and say, I'm taking these people. There was nothing prepared for them. As we saw that, I don't know what type of beds were there, whether they had blankets, whether they had whatever. That a patient needs, or an ordinary person like myself, in a house or in a home, there are basic things that you have to have in a house. But it shows us that these poor people had nothing.
Why did you return to Bophelong?
Pardon?
Why did you return to Bophelong?
How did I?
Why did you go back?
Why did we go back?
Yes, to Bophelong.
To Bophelong, we went there because some of his clothes were there at Bophelong. We had to go and collect some of his clothing. Yeah, so we went there, and when we got there, the poor old nurse was there, and she was happy to see us, and said, we are happy to see you, Ntate Mabue. Billy's in hospital. I said, yes, we are from the hospital, Granny, and we came in this afternoon to visit Billy. I said, okay, we were planning that tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be going to see him, and people will be going to see him in the hospital. And I just looked her into the face and said, Granny, we are sorry, Billy is no more. And she felt so despondent, she felt out of place. And I said to her, we have come to collect his belongings, and then we are going back home. She said, no, I'm sorry, Ntate Mabue, we tell the other fellows at the back, because what we could deduce, we learned that the other fellows, his fellow patients, were asking every day, since Monday, they were asking, where is Billy? Where is Billy? And then they were told that he's in the hospital. They were so worried about his absence from among them there. And so we went through the kitchen. What also surprised us when we go through the kitchen, it's an ordinary kitchen of an ordinary house. You know these extended houses, and so a small kitchen. There was a gas stove in that kitchen. There was also big pots there, and I also saw a big three-legged pot there, 3 foot, and a big one there. And that time, they were now still busy trying to prepare for supper. At that time, past 5 to 6. And then they took us throughout and we could see people were so busy outside. The hammers were wah, 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 wah. And they were so happy to see us. And because they've been asking, where is Billy's father?
They would be with other patients?
They were right at the back there, outside.
Yeah, they were happy. Who are they who were happy?
The patients.
The patients.
Yeah, they were happy to see us because we were introduced to them that I'm Billy's father. And they clapped their hands, starting clapping their, oh, Billy, Billy, Billy. And
Billy probably had told them, you are the bishop. If not archbishop.
no, they didn't ask me whether I'm the bishop, you see. Although Billy used to tell me that when I behave well, I'll have to go to China to go and be a bishop from there.
Oh,
From China.
Yeah. So I'm expecting to go to China to go and become a bishop. And so, but then all in all, the sad news were broken. The lady who's a cook there, who's preparing supper for them, she was so heartbroken. She was so heartbroken. Inside the house, she was just crying. And they took us out, and then the news were broken that we have come here. This is Billy's father. Billy has just passed on. They started screaming. They started crying. They started praying. And it really touched me to say, if people like this, who, to say the government, throw them out of that wonderful institution, to throw them out into the wilderness, if they can stand up and pray, what was wrong with them to be kept at Esidimeni? What wrong did they commit to be dragged out of that institution? And I just sat down there, and I had no power to see and to hear these people who we think they are mentally crazy, singing and praying. And at the end, we said, I thanked them, and gave them a blessing. And then we went out through the kitchen, and then they gave us some of his belongings, and then we drove off home. And then it was not a nice journey going back home, because I was worried, because I've left the children on their own. My daughters was working, and then my grandchildren were young, they are young teenagers. And I said, I'm not going to phone them. The first person whom I phoned was this Glenn Mabue, who took me to Bophelo. He was the first person to be phoned, and his mother and other family members in Motlhakeng. I phoned them all on our way. I said, these others, the children at home, I'll tell them when we come home. So we arrived home at about 8 o'clock, and then we went to fetch Tebogo. She was still at work. We picked her up from work, and then we didn't say anything to her.
Who is Tebogo?
Tebogo is my daughter. Yeah. So when we got there, we came in, and then I did not break the news myself. That the Soli who drove me were the one who broke the news. And yeah, and we started now saying, where to from here. Then not long, some of the family members from Motlhakeng came. Some of them came from Kagiso. They came and just to be with us for that evening. And then we had now to sit down and plan for his funeral. And then Saturday morning, I phoned the undertakers, the funeral parlor in Motlhakeng. And he said, I must come on Monday morning at 8 o'clock. I should be there to come and thank you, dear. to come and make arrangements so that they can go and collect the corpse. And then, so Sunday we were there, some of the people came, some of the family members came, and Monday morning, at 8 o'clock I was at the funeral parlor. I took Billy's IDs and other things, documents, and we drove off back to Jubilee Hospital to go and collect Billy. And then I had to sign a lot of documents there. So from there, they took us to the mortuary after signing all those documents, and then paid all the fees that were to be paid. And so they took the undertakers to the mortuary to go and take Bill out from the mortuary. And after a while, they called me, and then they opened him. And I started praying for him, started praying for the journey, taking him back home. Of course, I could not just take his body home without saying, thank you, God, God, Billy, we are taking him back home. And may our journey be blessed by you. May we be directed by you so that now we reach home safely. And then we drove off, but about 1 o'clock, 1:30, we are in Randfontein. And then, because we wanted to get a death certificate immediately so that we can start making the funeral arrangement. Unfortunately, when we arrived there, the lights were off at the municipality, and no offices were working. So we had to wait until Tuesday. Then went back to the Home Affairs to go and collect the death certificate.
And when was...
And everything went very smoothly, very smoothly. And on Tuesday, we got the death certificate, and then we started making arrangements, and we prepared for the funeral to be on Friday, because we knew that some of my fellow clergy won't be able to come on Saturday, because the clergy are also busy on Saturdays having their own parochial activities. So we had a funeral on Friday, the 20. What was it?
29. 29. It's fine. It's fine, Tata Mampu. It's fine.
Well, the funeral was on the 29th of July.
Reverend, what do you understand to be the cause of Billy's demise?
Pardon, Councillor?
What do you understand to be the cause of Billy's demise?
I think my own understanding and my own assessment, we could not be sitting here if these people were left at Esidimeni. Parents, families could be not moaning and crying. All these people, I believe, my belief is that all these people, they could still be alive. And I don't doubt God, because if it was God's will, I cannot say this is God's will, that these people had to die. God is not so cruel. All these people, even those who have not been buried by now, they could still be alive.
Is there anything you would like to say to the government before you close?
Hey, you're asking me a very, very good and difficult question. Because, Councillor, when we asked to see them, they refused flatly to come and meet us as parents. And then, at this time and point, when our hearts are broken, when we are shattered, What more can we say to the government? What can we say to them? If it's a government which is for the people, you remember very well when Parliament was opening, the DA asked that they must stand up and have a moment of silence to remember these our people who have just died. And they refused flatly. Now, what can we say to them? But anyway, Jesus, when he was on the cross, he prayed. He said, Father, forgive them. Father, forgive them. And because they don't know what they are doing. Even up to now, we will pray. Our prayers we'll be praying daily and timelessly. And still, they will not be knowing what they are doing. As you can see, what is happening in the country at this time. They don't know what they are doing. We'll continue to say, Father, forgive them. And if at least one, like Dr. Mkachas here said, of what has happened, they could have publicized it as the government say, we are sorry as the government for all what has happened because it is our fault. Our people who we put in the positions have caused us this mess. And this word that they always use in their offices, batupili, which doesn't mean anything to them. If it could be said, votupili, meaning them, votupili mo go bone, then we could understand. But they say batupili, of which they don't care about us.
There have been several.
But I'm telling you, Councillor, I'm telling you, with you, the worst things are coming. Worst things are coming for this government. I'm sorry to say it.
Thank you, Tati Mabwe. Justice, that's all for evidence in chief from me.
Thank you, Counsel.
Thank you.
Advocate Krause.
Justice, I have no questions, thank you.
Advocate Groenewald.
Justice, we have no questions. Thank you.
Counsel for the state.
Justice, we have no questions for the witness except to express the regret with regard to the
Would you just say it a
events.
little louder so that it gets onto the record?
I'm making the submission that
Somebody's playing quite good music out there. But can somebody tell them to stop it, please?
we are saying that we have had the account, we have no questions to the witness. We regret the events which actually happened, and indeed it's a lesson not to be repeated. And on that note, we will also continue to be in prayer with the families and everyone else to ensure that we find peace in this difficult moment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel. Thank you. Re-examination?
No re-examination, Justice Mosi.
Nna ga ke na mafoko rra.
Thank you very much, Ntate Judge Khamuseneke. Thank you very much, members of the legal teams from both ends. What I am going to request again, humbly, from you, Judge Ntate Moseneke, is just to commit the souls of these, our beloved children, our parents, our brothers and sisters, our aunts. You commit them to the wonderful hands, beautiful hands of God.
Re a leboga rra.
Thank you. Father Jesus Christ, you wept at the grave of Lazarus. We are weeping, standing beyond the grace of our family members. Some will still be buried in time to come. Give us strength and power, Lord, that as we travel this journey, we may not lose direction. We may not lose sight of you. Give more power, more strength to our legal people here, especially Ntate Khamuseneke, who has been picked up, not by us, but by you, Lord, to be our leader in this journey. Bless him in his retirement as he do his work voluntarily. And Lord, we say today here, we raise up our hands, we lift up the souls of our brothers and sisters and children to you, and said, Lord, forgive us, forgive them if they've done anything wrong that they deserved to die in the way that they've died. Lord, thank you very much. Your love will continually be with us. Your love will continually encompass us. Lord, may their souls rest in peace and rise in glory. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. You are excused from the witness stand. Di thapelo ra di leboga rra. Counsel, I think I should turn to you, isn't it? What are your intentions at this stage?
We have a second witness who's ready to be called, Justice Maseneke,
Please do.
Mrs. Tejane.
Mme Tejane, dumela mme. Ke kgopela gore o beye maina a gago, o bue maina a gago otlhe mo microphone-eng gore re itse gore o mang. O tlo go bua ka leleme le lefe?
Ke batla go bua Setswana ntate.
O batla go bua Setswana. Sa bua Ramhlonishwa,
Age Moatlhodi
le kae o siame?
ke teng
O tlo go bua Setswana yaanong a ke?
ke nnete
Tlogetse Setebele. Nnyaa go siame. Ra go leboga. Ra mme o re I'm going to swear her in now. Kgopela gore a bue maina a gage otlhe on record.
ba re batlo go nkisa kano Moatlhodi o kopa gore o bue mabitso a gago a heletse
Ke nna Monomang Velemina Tejani.
Monomang Velemina Tajane.
Metejana, ke kgopela gore o ikane gore bopaki bo o tlo go buang gompieno e tla nna nnete fela. Ga go le yalo emisa letsogo la gago la moja o re Modimo nthuse.
Bopaki bo ke tla bong buang e tla ba nnete fela mo pele ga Modimo. Ke kopa Modimo nthuse ke bue nnete.
The witness is sworn in. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you for having the courage to take the stand.
Re a leboga gore o be le sebete sa gore o tlo fana ka bopaki mo. Thank you.
We are here to hear about Daniel Charles Josiah.
Re mona go tlo utlwa ka ngwana wa Daniel Josiah. Yes.
What is your relationship to him?
Lona le amana yang le ena.
Daniel Charles Josiah ke kgaitsedi ake. Ke ngwana wa boifomo moragaka.
He is my brother. He is the fourth child after me, the fourth sibling.
We have on record that he passed away on 8 September 2016. Is that correct?
Re utlwile fa gore o ile a tlhokofala ka di 8 September 2016 e ka ba go yalo.
Charles nako e rile ko Pretoria West Hospital. Doctor re boditse gore o tlhokafetse ka di 8 sa August.
When we went to Pretoria West Hospital, we were told by the medical doctor that he passed on the 8th of August.
On the 8th of August, not
August,
8
yeah.
September.
8th of August.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Council.
The death certificate says 8 September.
Or a death certificate mo bangwetse 8 September.
Death certificate ga ke na bonnete ba yone because ke tsamaile le ene ke a mo boloka sena death certificate. Mara doctor ona re explainela ko Pretoria West o itse ka di 8 tsa September tsa August nna re fitlhile teng ka di 19 tsa September.
Well, I'm not sure about the details of the death certificate because when we came to fetch him for burial, we did not have that certificate. But the information we received from the doctor was that he passed on the 8th of August. And we went there at the hospital on the 19th of September.
We'll get there. Let's start at the beginning. Was Charles was Charles a patient of Life Esidimeni?
Ikaba Charles o ine ile molwetse ko Life Esidimeni.
Charles o na le ko Esidimeni a tswa go ba mo transferetse go tswa ko Binoni go mo isa ko Esidimeni.
Yes, Charles was a patient at Life Esidimeni. He was transferred from Benoni to Life Esidimeni.
And what was Charles's health condition? What was wrong with Charles?
Ora gore boemo ba gagwe ba bophelo ene ile eng mathata a gagwe le eng ka bophelo.
Charles go kuleng ga gagwe o thomile ka go wa teng ko Benoni, and then after that ba re bolelela gape gore o shapilwe ke stroke. Ke teng Charles a sa tlhole a tsamaya, sa tlhole a bua.
Charles, when he started to feel sick, he fell in Benoni, That is where we learned that he had a stroke, and that is after then he was not able to speak or to walk.
When did he have the stroke?
O bile neng le stroke se.
How old was he? How old was he?
O na a na le dingwaga tse kae?
Ga ke sa gopola sentle ka gore Charles o na dula le mme wa ka ko Jamestown ga thoma go kula nane ke dula ko Northern Cape.
Well,
Nkgono.
I can't remember how old he was at the time because he was staying with my mom, and I was at the Northern Cape at the time.
How long did Charles stay at Life Esidimeni?
O dutse nako e sebaka se se kanang kang ko Life Esidimeni.
Ke a le tshepa gore ke bo 2010 2011 nako e ba mo isa ko Esidimeni.
I think he was admitted around 2010, 2011. That is when he was admitted at Life Esidimeni.
And how was he, what was his condition at Life Esidimeni? How was he doing there?
Boemo ba gagwe bo ne bo le yang ka nako e a ne a le ko Life Esidimeni?
Ko Esidimeni e ne le motho fela o didimetseng o sa tsamaeng mara a kgona go utlwa ntho engwe le engwe e re buang le ene.
At Esidimeni, he was someone who was very quiet. He did not walk, but he could hear everything when we were speaking to him.
Did you visit him regularly at
Ekaba
Life?
o ne o le motho o mo etelang kgafetsa-kgafetsa ko Life Esidimeni?
Ne ke mo tšhakela ebile ke kopile le ngwana cousin a mme wa ka gore mo gare ga beke a nna mo tšhakele a mo phele dijo a mo isetse.
Yes, we used to pay him regular visit, and sometimes I would ask my cousin to pay him visit and to bring him some food and clothes,
E seng diaparo, dijo.
or to bring him some food.
Were you working at the time?
O ne o dira ka nako eo?
Ke ne ke dira ya ka domestic work.
Yes, I was working as a domestic worker.
And what were you earning?
Ba re o ne o gola bokae?
Ke ne ke kry-a 2.6, 2,600.
2,600.
Does your husband work?
Ba re ka ba rre ko gae wa dira?
O na dira ha sa dira because o mo pensioneng le ene.
He was working, but he's no longer working because he is on pension now.
When you visited Charles at Life Esidimeni, was he recognized you and was happy to see you?
Ga o ne o mo tšhakela Charles ko Life Esidimeni, o ne a go gopola gore ko wena?
Charles o na nkitse because ga ba mo tlisa mo go nna ne ke mo bona ka smile gore wa nkgopola.
Yes, he was recognizing me because every time when they brought him to me, I could see him smiling. That showed that he recognized me.
Were you told that Charles would be moved from Life Esidimeni by anybody?
Ka ba go na le motho o ileng a go bolelela gore Charles o tlo tlosiwa ko Life Esidimeni? No.
Ga gona motho o mpoleletseng.
No, no one informed me about that.
How did you find out? When did you eventually find out that he was moved?
Bofelong o ile wa feletsa o itsitse yang gore o tlositswe Charles mo?
Partner ya ka ile ya ka di 18 September go ya go mmona e le Sunday.
My partner went to visit him on the 18th of September. It was on a Sunday.
2016.
2016.
Yes, 2016.
Went to visit him where?
O ne
ko-
a mo tšhakela ko kae?
O na re wa go mo bona ko Esidimeni ke ga a kopana le di-security.
He wanted to go to Life Esidimeni. That is when he met the security.
And
Go
then
on.
ba mo bolella gore ga go sa tlhole go na le di-patient mole pleke e le e dirisetswa ya ka rehab.
And he was told that there were no longer patients there, that that institution was now used as a rehabilitation center.
Ke ga a re ke ga ba botsa gore e le gore o isitswe kae. Be ba re di-security ba re ga ba itse gore ba bone fela di-bus di tla di rwala batho ga ba itse gore o ko kae.
And then he asked them where was he transferred to, and they told him that no, they do not have that information either. They only saw the buses coming to fetch the patients.
So how did you find Charles?
Lile la mo kry-a young Charles.
Di-security ba ile ba ba fa di-phone number, ba fa ntate di-phone number gore ka Monday re phone re find out gore re tla mo thola le ko kae.
The security provided him with the phone numbers, and they instructed him to call on Monday, and they will be feathered with information about his whereabouts.
And then what happened?
Ke gobane ntate o na tsamaya le tšhomi ya gagwe. Tšhomi ya gagwe ba re no, nna ke tla le thusa ka phone ya ka, ke tla phone Monday ke find out ka gobaneng e tla le jela airtime ke find out gore o mo kae.
My partner was accompanied by his friend, and then he said that, no, I will assist you. I will make that call on Monday to find out about his whereabouts.
And then ke ga a phone ka bo 9:30 a re ba re ba sentse ba mmatla mara sa bule gore ke mang a re nyalo.
He then called at around 9:30, and then he said that he was told that they are still looking for him, but he did not specify the person he spoke to who told him that they were still looking for him.
And then aba phone gape ka bo 2:12 same Monday.
He then called again at around 2:12 on the same Monday.
Ke nako ya mpotsa di-ID number tsa gagwe.
That is when he inquired about his ID numbers.
Ke be ke re ao ba mpatla di-ID number yang ka gobane ga ke na ID ya gagwe e ko go bone ko sepetlele.
And I said to him, how can they look for how can they ask me for the ID numbers, because I do not have his ID. His ID was with him when he went to the hospital.
Do you know who you were speaking to?
Ekaba no itse gore o ne o bua le mang?
Tšhomi ya ntate ona a sa mention gore o bua le mang ka nako eo.
My partner's friend did not mention who he was talking with at that time.
And then kabo, I'm sure 12:30 aba phone gape aba re sorry mama brother wa gago o mo listing ya ba ba tlhokofetseng.
And by 12:30, when he phoned again, that is when he said, sorry mama, your brother is on the list of the deceased.
And did you at any point on this day speak to anybody else?
Ka baka nako eo go na le motho e leng gore o ile wa boledisana le yena?
Ga ke a bua le motho ke ile ka emela ntate ka gore ka nako eo ntate a na sebetsa gore ga tšheisa re bue gore yaanong ga re tswa mo re ya ko kae.
No, I did not speak to anyone. I waited for my partner because he was working at the time. So I waited for him so that we can discuss as to what is the way forward.
Where was Charles taken to?
Charles Obaru a isitswe ko kae?
Ka bo 8:00 ya Monday mantsiboa 8:00 ke ga ke kry-a call e tswa ko ausingo ba re ke Ethel.
On Monday, around 8 p.m., I got a phone call from another lady by the name of Ethel.
Ethel a ba re mo go rona re tle ko Pretoria West Hospital.
And she instructed us to come to Pretoria West Hospital.
Is this the Ethel who
Ethel Ncube.
testified before these hearings?
Yes, Miss Ethel Ncube.
Did you go to Precious Angels?
Wile wa ya na ko Precious Angels?
Re ile fela straight to go Pretoria West Hospital.
No, we went straight to Pretoria West Hospital.
What date did you go to Pretoria West Hospital?
Ke ka letlha le le feng?
Nile ka di 20 ile Tuesday.
It was on the 20th, it was on a Tuesday.
20th September 2016.
September 2016.
Yes, 20 September 2016.
And what happened when you got there?
Go diragetseng ga o fitlha foo?
Ga re fitla teng ko Pretoria West re fitla tse le gore bele ba re emetse di social worker sister o mongwe a re ke doctor mara ke lebetse lebitso la gage.
When we arrived there, we found the social worker, the sister, the nursing sister, and the doctor, but I forgot the names.
Ga re fitla ba re kenya ka mo boardroom.
And when we arrived, we were invited into the boardroom.
Ke temo ne ba re bolela gore mme Velemina re emetse Ethele gore a tle go go bolelela gore go etsagetseng.
That is when I was told that, Miss Velemina, we are waiting for Ethel so that he can come and tell you what has happened.
And then?
And then Ethel a ba sa tle ke gapeleletsa o ana re ke doctor o ke lebetseng lebitso la gage. A ba simolla a re tlhalosetsa gore Charles o fitlhile mo matsogong a gage o phetse fela matsatsi a mararo. O fitlhile a le wiki a sena file a sena ID tsatsi la boifo ke ga tlhokafala.
And then Ethel did not show up, and then the doctor, I forgot his name, he then explained that Charles arrived 3 days ago, and when he arrived, he was very, very, very weak. He did not even have his file.
File ya teng ko Esidimeni
He did not have the file from Esidimeni.
le ID.
He did not have his ID.
Ha itse tsa bophelo ba gage gore a thoma a kule go thomile yang.
And he did not know anything regarding his medical history.
Did the doctor tell you how Charles passed away?
Ikaba ngaka doctor ile ya go tlhalosetsa gore Charles o tlhokofetse yang?
Ga bua gore o tlhokofetse yang o itse fela o tlhokofetse mo go ene ke letsatsi la boifo.
No, he did not specify. He only said that he died under his care on the 4th day.
And then ke ga re a thoma go ntlhalosetsa gore re be strong ne ke tsama le mme wa ka.
That is when he started to explain and encouraged us to be strong. I was accompanied by my mother.
Le partner ya ka le tšhomi ya gage ya partner ya ka.
My partner as well as my friend's partner.
Ke teng mo ana re tlhalosetsa gore ke tsamaye re go boloka Charles ka tlhompho.
He said we must go and bury Charles with dignity.
Ga ke fetsa go mo boloka ke ye ko SASSA.
And he said after the burial I must go to SASSA.
Ke go batlisisa gore grant ya gage a ntse tsewa ke motho or ke sepetlele na.
And to investigate and find out as to whether the grant was being cashed in by the hospital or by an individual.
Ke ile ka mmotsa gore ka gore Charles ne ke mo reketse wheelchair yone kae.
And I asked that since I have bought a wheelchair for Charles, where was the wheelchair?
A wheelchair that you had bought for him?
Yeah.
Yes, Council.
A ba re ga itse sepe ka wheelchair mara ba tla e batla.
He said he did not know anything about the wheelchair, but they will investigate.
Did you get the wheelchair back?
a se ke tholile yaanong.
No, I never got the wheelchair back.
Did you speak to Ms. Ethel Ngube at all?
Ekaba o ile wa bua le Mme Ethel Ngube?
Mo meeting o Ethel a zanke a tle,
No, at that meeting, Ethel was not present.
until ka bo 2:02. Ke ga doctor re bolella gore go a kwala ko mortuary ka 3:30.
Until around past 2, at that time, the doctor said at the mortuary they were going to close at the past 3.
So re tsamaye re ke go bona gore a ke tla kgona go tlhalosa stopo sa Charles.
He said I must go and identify Charles' body.
Did they tell you why they took so long to inform you that Charles had passed away?
Ekaba ba go boleletse gore ke eng se ileng gore ba tseye se lobaka lo lelele yana pele ba le bolella.
Ga gona opo o ntlhaloseditse.
No, no one explained to us.
Did you ask them?
O ile wa ba botsa wena?
Kore ga ke ba botsa fela ne ke re ke a makala gore go tla yang gore ka re ko Esidimeni ba mmisa Charlie gore Charlie a moviwe a isiwe Pretoria West go sena motho a mpolelelang ene ne ke itse gore di nurse tsa ko Esidimeni ba close thata le Charlie.
No, they did not tell me. I was surprised because at Life Esidimeni, they used to call him Charlie. And he was very close to the nurses there at Life Esidimeni. I was surprised that they transferred him without informing us.
On what date did you go to the mortuary?
Nele-
Rile yone same day ya di 20 ko mortuary. Re na le doctor sister Ratlhogo le ntate Mogale.
We went on the same day with the doctor, Sister Ratlhogo, and Mr.
Ntate Mogale
Mogale.
le mme wa ka le ntate wa partner ya ka le tšhomi ya gagwe.
My mother, my partner, and my friend's partner as well.
Did you identify Charles's body?
Ekaba le ile la fitlha wa supa setopo sa ga Charles?
Ya rile ra pitla ka mo kry-a ba mo robaditse mo stretchereng.
Yes, we found him sleeping on, he was on top of the stretcher.
A butse molomo, a butse matlho.
His mouth was wide open, his eyes were wide open.
And then doctor a re mo go nna a ke sure gore ke ene nena.
And the doctor asked me whether I was sure whether it was him.
Ke re ke ene ke brother wa ka ke a mo itse because Charlie mo pelong a sena meno a ithumo.
I said, yes, it was my brother because I know my brother Charlie did not have 2 teeth here in front.
You say you identified him by the missing teeth.
Le mme wa ka le face ne re itse gore ke ene.
Yes, not only that, but with the face as well, we knew that it was him, and I was accompanied by my mother as well.
And then doctor ba re okay ka gore le kgotsofetse gore ke ene tla re emele Ethel. Ke ga doctor I founela Ethel.
And the doctor said, now that you are satisfied that it is him, let us wait for Ethel. And then we waited for Ethel.
Re emetse Ethel, I'm sure 30 to 45 minutes Ethel a sa tle.
We waited for Ethel for about 30 to 45 minutes, and she did not show up.
Why did you need to wait for Ethel?
Gobane ne le tshwanetse le emele Ethel.
Gobane doctor ke ena na re Ethel ke ene tshontsong a tle go ntlhalosetsa gore go etsagetseng.
Because the doctor said that Ethel was the one who was supposed to come and explain to me about what has happened.
Okay.
Ga fitla Ethel go tlhagila a sa itse gore a reng o fitlile fela re dumedisa and then a ntsha buka ya government ya indigent.
When Ethel arrived, he did not know what to say to us. He greeted us, and then after greeting us, he took out a
Ethel is a
booklet.
woman.
She, oh, my apologies, Justice. She took out a booklet for
But you don't have
indigent
to,
police.
because in African languages, we don't distinguish between he and she. So
Yes, but
I
I'm sorry
understand,
about
I understand the source of the mistake.
that. Okay.
itse ga a ntsha buka eo Ethele a re mo go nna ke bale buka eo, and then ga ke fetsa ke ye ko police station ke go etsa affidavit.
Ethel read from that book, and then he said that I must go to the police station and make an affidavit.
The doctor ba e tseya mo go ena re buka e ha se ya batho ba.
And the doctor took that book and said, no, this book is not for these people.
Ke ga a sa tlhola itse gore Ethel a re a ka reng yaanong. Doctor ke ga re because o ba fa buka e ya indigent, nna ke le doctor ntho e ke e tsebang ke itse grant ya batho ba ga ba le ko sepetlele go tseiwa fela 20 rand. 20 ranta e ke ba patellang for insurance.
The doctor said, no, you cannot use this indigent book. Myself as a doctor, I know that when these patients are at the hospital, I mean, they must only take out 20 rand. At the hospital, they must only deduct 20 rand, which was for
Insurance.
insurance.
Or if anything ga e ka happenega ba na le insurance.
In case anything happens, and then they have insurance.
And then tšhelete e nngwe kaofela mo granting e boela ko family.
The rest of the money from the grant, according to the doctor, must go back to the family.
Gore family ga e batla go mo go tlhola patient a ska re ga ke na tšhelete or ga ke na tšhelete ya go mo rekela bo dipanana ya lo di-fruits.
So that the family can be able to use that money to go and pay to go and visit the patient, so that they are able to buy things, maybe fruits or any other things that the patient might need.
Is this, are you referring to the disability grant?
Yes.
So Charles was
Yes.
receiving a disability grant.
Or Charles o ne a kgolla a kry-a pay e ya go goba.
Re utlwile a le ko hospital gore o kry-a disability because rona a zanke re e bone rona. Tšhelete eo.
We got that information from the hospital. We did not see that. We were not privy to that.
What information did you get from the hospital?
Or le utlwile eng kwa sepetlele?
Ke e thotse mo doctor-eng.
I was
Doctor o a reng Charles o tlhokofaletse mo matsogong a gagwe.
I was told by the doctor who was attending to Charles.
That he was receiving a disability grant.
Gore o na kry-a pay eo. Yes.
Do you know who was collecting the disability grant?
Ba re ke mang o ne a tseya tšhelete e.
A ba re ga ke fetsa re fetsa ka funeral ke ye ko SASSA ke ye go find out gore a grant ya gagwe e ne tsewa ke motho gore ke sepetlele.
And then the doctor said, after the funeral, I must go to SASSA and investigate who was taking that grant. Was it somebody or was it the hospital?
Did you do that?
Wile wa dira seo?
Ke ile ko SASSA ya ko Kagiso
Yes, I did go to SASSA at Kagiso.
ga ke ya ke ga ba re mo go nna ga a appear mo systeming.
And I was told that he was not appearing on the system.
Ke teng ga re tswa go mo re ile ko Warrenton after funeral ka ya gape ko SASSA ya Warrenton Northern Cape gore ba check gore a wa ithola grant na.
I also went to SASSA offices in Warrington so that they can check whether he was getting this grant.
And then ko Warrenton ba checka le teng ba re no ha tlhage mo systeming be ke re go tla yang gore motho a le disabled a ba sa